Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did, hello. We did more MSQ, where we are desperately trying to get peace between the Dravanians and the Ishgarians. However, if it's not one problem, it's another one, meaning that Nidhogg has come back. And today we will see what we need to do. When I said I wished to speak with you after the conference, I confess I envisaged rather happier circumstances. If anything, however, this latest tragedy makes the needs more pressing. There are things I must say. Not to the Warrior of Light or even my fellow Scion, but to you, Lyn, my friend. But not here, no. Ah, but of course, the intercessory in Count Dragonhead is still open to us. Let us go there. Oopsie. Greetings, madam. Shall I show you inside? Yes.
Forgive me. That took longer than expected. You seem puzzled. Oh, these. I thought something warming might not go amiss. It was not all that long ago that we sat here, you and I. In our very own falling snows, as Lord Horshvon called it. I still struggle to believe he is gone. And Azelle too. I had such hopes for her. Master Matoya asked me what it was all for. Why we fight. And why we die. Were I still commander of the Braves, I would doubtless have replied, for the future of Eorzea. But I'm not that man. Not anymore. I needed a new answer. One that I could live with. And when I saw Estinian at the ceremony, I knew at last what it was. I do not want to be a man who sacrifices his friends and family for a cause. I want to fight for Estinian, and I want to save him. When Nidhogg leads the Horde into battle, Ser Emmerich and his forces will do what they believe must be done. That is their choice to make. Yet even if Ser Emmerich is willing to forsake Estinian, I am not. We must fight for him, for he is our friend and ally. We may struggle, we may fail, but we must try. Lord Horshvon would be proud. I knew you would understand. Together, we will surely find a way.
Thank you, Lyn. It is unfair of me to unburden myself in this matter. Time after time, but I am glad that you permit me nonetheless. You are my true friend and ally. Though not all of our fellow Scions will support our stance on Estinian, I have faith that we will win them over in due course, such as the infectious power of hope. Right, that is quite enough solemn introspection for one day. I think we would both benefit from some time in the company of Tatara. She stays for us at the house for Tom's. Or for Tom's Manor. Whatever. Let us not keep her waiting any longer. Fortan. Yet again, we walk an all too familiar path. I am reminded of when we first came to this matter. Lost and uncertain, we were granted succor in our hour of need. We were saved, and now it is our turn to return the favor. Hear, hear. Let no one say that the Scions do not repay their debts. After all, what kind of people would we be if we forsook our friends? If we stopped looking for Ida and Papalima? Or if we even gave up hope of bringing Minfilia back? Though she knew it would cost her dearly, Minfilia reached out to us to deliver a message. She believed it was imperative that we understand the true nature of the star, of the rift between Zodiac and Hydaelyn, and of the Ascians' aspirations. But for all that had been revealed, I cannot shake the suspicion that there is much we have yet to learn. In any event, I think it's time we step back from the fray and carefully consider our next course of action. It will not be easy to turn this tragedy to triumph, but we will find a way. We will. We will. Okay, and then there's Hellfire armor. Or just armor. Just crafting armor, but like craftable armor. We also learn a new emote. Again, battle stance. Okay, there's more cutscene. I feel like this should be voice acted.
All the ways for it to end. Even before his transformation, I could feel the worm's hatred swirling about Estinian. The terrible, all-consuming rage. Enough to fuel a 1,000-year quest for vengeance. It was all I could do not to run away screaming. But Ishgardians, nay, all Eorzeans, are made of sterner stuff. They face danger and death on a daily basis and understand what it takes to win a war.
Think not too deeply on Master Matoya's words. Her intent was but to steal our resolve. That, and to remind us to look beyond these passing conflicts to trials greater still. To the truth which hides at the heart of this world.
So that's your aim, is it?
You disapprove?
Not at all. I believe it's traditional for the student to follow in the footsteps of the master. And you are so very alike.
No.
Change. That great inexorable wave was upon us, and soon all of Ishgard would bend to its will. For all our sins, for all our scars, the future for which we had long yearned was at last within our grasp. But it would be bought at a heavy price. For in those twilight hours did Nidhogg cry out for vengeance, and his brethren raise their voices for the final chorus of the Dragon Song War.
Caution, Ida. That is all I ask. Do not be so eager to place your faith in them. Not until we know more. I like how usually the cutscene ends by the moment that I am like... the literal second usually when I am not like ready to press the button. Let me see. The gear change. Let me go and enter the Forton's Manor for a moment. And I'm gonna go and show off the battle stance of each of the jabs. I was wondering though, because I do remember getting them at around the same time, but I wasn't sure when. Right, battle stance. The sword flippers are so good. Bunga bunga. As it should be. I really wish that you wouldn't hold the blade like this as a Dark Knight. I really wish that you held the blade in like standard mode a little bit different. But that is only a personal grievance. Ah yes. Touch those imaginary glasses. Okay. Astrologian. Spin that globe. That's a big freaking card. The yump and the kick. Whoa, that was them some flippies right there. That's kind of crazy. Right. You know, like a lot of these, like battle stance of victory and all that jazz, like it kind of reaffirms the energy that I try to get with the climbers. Like it makes sense, which is really nice. I love it when when I do a battle stance or anything else that's like related to the job, and it just makes sense. It's good soup. It's just really nice. And then yeah, this is also still the same. Why is there classes for a summoner? Oh well. Alright, let's swap back to my machinist and let us continue our story. Ah, Mrs. Adair. It is well that you are here. You are wanted within. I believe Master Elfino wishes a word with you. Ah yes, I definitely could have... Oh, whatever. I don't know this game out of my head. Right. Ah, Lynn, there you are. Have you a moment? There's something I would fain discuss. I must ask you to recall the events which unfolded at the peace conference, though I dare say you would sooner forget them. My mind returns again and again to the moment when Nidhogg appeared before the crowd in the guise of a Stinian. It was a sight to chill the soul, but one which gave me reason to hope that our friend might not be beyond salvation. When you described his fateful transformation as his law, I feared him lost forever. But the mere fact that some semblance of his former self endures must surely count for something. Alas, I have no evidence to support this impression. Thus did I turn to Ystora and Kral for a more empirical appraisal. Or empirical? I don't actually know that word. And full glad am I that I did, for it would seem they have some observation of their own to share. The ladies have saved us a table at the Forgotten Night. Shall we go? Doho. Excellent. Let us not keep our honored colleagues waiting. Bam, bam.
We have kept you waiting over long, I fear.
Not to worry, Alphino. We had some rather fine mulled wine to keep us company. Truth be told, you could have delayed your arrival a few moments more.
Gibrion got the spicing just right this time. His latest batch is not only delicious and warming, but soothing to the humours.
Indeed. But 'twas not to soothe our humours that we gathered here.
Ah, no, quite right. The matter of that poor dragoon.
You have discovered something. A means to save him?
Let us not jump to conclusions, shall we? Assess the facts presented, then make an educated analysis, as you were taught.
Pray, cast your mind back to the moment of Estinian's transformation. Do you recall how you described it to us?
No.
You spoke of the sudden pangs which racked his body when he took up both of Nidhogg's eyes, and of how his form was twisted thereafter into a shadowy semblance of the Great Worm.
When he appeared at Falcon's Nest, the worm's eyes were fused to his mail.
Would that only his armor had been corrupted. Snaking forth from the eyes, I descried dark tendrils which entangled his very being. His ether has been all but smothered.
Then he is lost to us forever?
What did I just say about jumping to conclusions? Y'shtola clearly stated all but smothered. As I later discovered, her impression matched my own. Though Nidhogg's presence filled my mind's eye, beneath his seething aura, I sensed the merest hint of something else. And after listening to Y'shtola's observations, I became more certain of my suspicion that the something else I'd sensed was, in fact, the trace of a different will, submerged in the sea of Nidhogg's rage.
You mean...
Yes, 'tis like that Estinian spirit yet lingers.
Can we not wrest him from Nidhogg's grasp, then? Tear the eyes from the armor?
We know not if that would serve to separate Worm's soul from man's. None have ever attempted such a feat.
Should it offer even the faintest hope of success, then by the gods, I shall be the first to try.
Alphino. By all means, hold fast to your hope, but be mindful of the dangers. Even should you succeed in excising the eyes from the dragoon's mail, we have no way of knowing if your friend's soul would survive so violent a separation. And that is to say nothing of the possibility that his would-be savior might become Nidhogg's next host.
But what other choice remains to us? Should the opportunity present itself, I will tear those foul orbs from Estinian's armor and trust in the resilience of his soul, even at the risk of mine own.
Ah, I found you at last. A messenger of the Temple Knights came to the manor some few hours past. The Lord Commander humbly requests the company of the Warrior of Light and Master Alphino.
Sir Emmerich would speak with us. Very well, thank you, Anawa.
'Twould seem duty calls. Pray see to yours, and we shall return to ours.
Thank you, Y'shtola, Kryl. Your words have given me hope where there was none. Come then. Sir Emmerich awaits.
Alphino is allowing his feelings for this dragoon to cloud his thoughts. I worry he may do something rash. Keep an eye on him, would you?
They think more of their friends' deliverance than their foes' defeat. But will history commend their fealty or condemn their folly?
Thank you, narrating Dragon Dad. Another cutscene just immediately? Okay.
The conference held at Falcon's Nest was to be a celebration of the reconciliation twixt man and dragon. But the lingering shade of Nidhogg, clad in the flesh of the Azure Dragoon, did mark the occasion by spilling the blood of his own kind. A timely atrocity to remind the children of Ishgard that the Dragon Song War was far from over. And when fear gave way to fury, the call to arms rang out anew. Death to Nidhogg! Death to Nidhogg!
This game's very sneaky with its cutscenes. What news is Sir Emmerich to share with us, I wonder? Might Sir Emmerich perchance have received the word of a Dravani in advance? Or mayhap they have located St. That is to say, mayhap Nidhogg has been found. Come, I would hear what the Lord Commander has to say.
My friends, I thank you for coming.
You have had news of Nidhogg?
Alas not. Our scouts range far and wide, but they have as yet found no trace of the Great Worm.
We dispatched an elite unit of dragoons to reconnoiter the churning mists, but even they returned empty-handed.
A pity.
Fear not, Alphino. We shall see the worm again soon enough. His words at Falcon's Nest attest to that. Indeed, he is like to come sooner than we would wish.
I assume Ishgard's defenses are being bolstered as we speak?
With all haste. I mean to call upon every able-bodied warrior at our disposal, from the Knights of the Four Houses to the men and women of the Watch. But I did not summon you to discuss strategy.
What then would you have of us, my lord?
I will speak plain. Now that Nidhogg is possessed of both of his eyes, no mortal force we can muster will repel him. That being the case, we must needs recruit an ally of equal strength.
You speak of Hraesvelgr?
I do. To whom else could we turn?
That he is Nidhogg's equal, I do not deny. Nor can I name another. But convincing the reclusive creature to do battle with his own brood brother will be... how shall I put this?
It will be no small undertaking, yes. Estinian's report was most particular about Hraesvelgr's unwillingness to involve himself in the affairs of men. But much has changed since your visit to Somal, and if there is even a chance that the dragon may be swayed, I must plead our case. Whatever price the dragon asks of me, I shall pay it. Such was my oath, to defend the people of Ishgard. Come what may, my friends, the battle with Nidhogg will mark the end of my tenure as the acting head of church and state. Will you help me discharge this final duty?
We will, my lord. Though I fear our involvement offers no guarantee of success. Come then. We will depart at your leisure.
Thank you. Both of you. The city is yours, First Commander.
My lord, we shall pray for your swift return.
Okay. I will be right back. Alright, I have returned and I thought I fixed my microphone stand, but it's kind of being wonky again. Alright, or a microphone arm, whatever. Grieves me to impose upon you in this manner, but you of all people understand the threat we now face. It is no imposition, Sir Emmerich. To Lynn and I, Ishgard is as a second home. After the many battles we have fought and the bonds we have forged, the plight of our nation of your nation has become our own. If there is aught we can do to aid in its salvation, then pray impose all you must. Nod. We are true friends. Shall we be about our task then? We have no way of knowing when Nidhogg's shade will strike, but we must assume that time is not our ally. Indeed, with that in mind, I have taken a liberty of dispatching a messenger to inform Mr. Tataru that you will be escorting me to some All. I confess I did not provide the exact details of our destination, as they are as yet unknown to me. We will summon Hraesvelgr at Zenith in the churning mists. Ere we begin our ascent, however, I think it best that we pay a visit to Enix Shrine. You seek an advantage in the coming negotiations? I do. I would consult with Vidofnir. I propose this in part out of concern for her condition. Were she to succumb to her wounds, it would have grave consequences for our alliance. That apart, she may be able to provide insight into her sire's current state of mind. Well reasoned. To the Divanian Forelands, then. Hey, my cat left me alone, and now she's here. Whatever. I don't care anymore. Whatever. It's not like I've got any space on my lap for her anyway. So she can try to... Stop! She's just gonna be an ass now. As she shoves her ass in my face. As is what cats are wont to do, I guess. Look for the first thing that they can find that they can mess with. And then, proceed to mess with it. Yep, yeah, sure, just bump against it, yep. Whatever, it's not like I want him to create decent quality video footage. Oops, it's disabled. Ah, it is the warrior of warriors and her companions. What brings you to mine abode? Pray forgive us for disturbing your recuperation, Vidofnir. I hope your wound does not pain you overmuch. Didst thou imagine me close to death? The thrust was deep, but not mortal. I will heal in time. Full glad am I to hear it. You were the guest of honor at our conference, and we failed in our duty of protection. On behalf of Ishgard, I apologize reservedly. I am a dragon full grown, and thou sought to protect me, mortal. I was tempered by the fires of battle ere thy great grandsire learned to crawl. Thy words do remind me of a knight whom I called friend some thousands of years past. He swore to defend me from harm and hardship. Would that we could return to that era of peace, when man and dragon knew such comradeship. Would that our every efforts to do so were not undone by ancient rancor. For a truth there can be no peace while Nidhogg's shade yet lingereth. That much is plain, yet we lack the strength to banish him. Thus do we make for some all, to beseech the aid of your sire once more. Folly, thou knowest as well as I how he will answer. Hraesvelgr's heart remains unchanged then. A pity. But if it is folly to hope, I am content to die a fool. As hath ever been the way with thy kind. Go then, but be warned, the Shade's presence hath driven its minions into frenzy. Thank you, Vidafnir. We shall disturb your rest no longer. So a lot of different types of food. Though I expected no better answer from Vidafnir, I take little pleasure from having been proven right. To seem that our presence at Zenith will be every bit as unwelcome as I had anticipated. But what is the ire of one great worm to a trio of self-confessed fools such as ourselves? Let us begin our ascent. After you, Master Alfina. Scout ahead if you wish, then. We shall join you outside Markham. I had heard tales of the world above the clouds, but never did I dream, whence mine paints a pale picture of its majesty. Few live to see such wonders. I am reminded of my first visit to this peak, when Estinin and Izael yet walked at our side. Kupo, is that you, Lynn? Ah, if it isn't Don't tell me you forgot my name, Kupo. After all we've been through together. And at least you remember me. You do remember me, don't you, Lynn? Moglin, Moghan... Apologies, friend, but all Mughals look the same to me. Because it's Chief Moglin, I think, so it has to be Moghan. Phew, you seemed a bit hesitant for a moment there, but I'm sure you were just fondly recalling the time we camped near Zenith, right, Kupa? But putting our shared history to one side, what brings you and your friends to Makram, Kupa? War. Ah, another audience with Alt Racefelger. Well, I hope you've brought the horn, Kupa. With the winds as gentle as they are, a good loud toot should reach the Great Worm's ears easily enough. That's good to hear, Morgan. Thank you. We had best press on to Zenith while the winds are in our favor. Sorry. Now that was unexpected, Koopa. Chieftain Morgan will want to hear about this. Ow. You can expect to hear some yelps of pain, as my cat does stupid things and hurts me in the process. Once again, for anybody who hasn't watched any of my footage up until this point, when it comes to Racefelger's speech, or any speech that isn't in English, I will not be reading it, so you'll have to read it yourself. If you are only listening to it and are interested in what he says, then you need to read it for yourself. Cat. Cat.
Great Racefelger, 'tis not lightly that we beg this audience. Pray hearken to our words, for they concern the future of man and dragon both.
Greetings, Resvelga. I am Emmerich de Burrell, acting ruler of the nation of Ishgard. I am come before you to parley on behalf of my people. You foresaw mine intent.
Lis echniteg kasmon ikin lis noan jas an es salen mon hanesh undahai Stapol ian niteg shinhes iso al no fa is Seth Osk kom initeg kinan Nosk degan en
We understand that in your despair at man's betrayal, you seek only the refuge of solitude. But despite your protestations of spent faith, do you not still nurture the smallest flame of hope? I do. If you claim I see falsely, then tell me, why did you consent to bear Rizel upon your back?
Is no Kaisia in Holes extier falsu Nesk an in eskba An snauhau us hesnesh Ikin en an
So you do distinguish between those who acknowledge and repent their sins and those who perpetuate them. Interesting. It seems to me that you have not, in fact, lost faith in mankind as a whole. Rather, you weigh our respective merits by how we allow the past to influence our future.
Snosk iletlai, Nolosk asisan, Ekmon kin una en.
Should we suffer ties of blood to bind our hands, then? Nay, if the crime is one of unconscionable evil, we must needs condemn it, even should the transgressor be our closest kin. When my father corrupted himself and his followers with the power of a primal, I beseeched the warrior of light to slay him, an act alike to patricide. That he did not die by my hand matters little. If anything, it heaps greater disgrace upon my name. But had my father not fallen, he would have drawn countless thousands into a holy war of hellish proportions, which I hold the greater crime. Thus did I order his execution, sparing the lives of my people and yours. Alas, your brother Worm now prepares to murder those whom I sought to spare. What is more, he has taken my comrade's body for his own. But if I must slay my dearest friend to defeat my direst foe, I will not flinch from my duty.
Sekmon infim, sesk antis ekmon, kin al ud.
Sloskna, dyrkin illes, kolhes nar inish, dra or in. Da niteg, garjas, nosk in an, slisva holkas, kain na.
Esgniteg, esgdir ulga an, el in an, hesnesh an, esk jas ong, n arm ong inga. Al in ong ulwoda, smahes in an. Sway Iratatoska disdai an. Slosk kin. Skol ich les imo.
Okay. I believe I spied a wyvern landing just outside the palace. It is doubtless one of the children of whom Racefelger spoke. Come, my friends, let us not keep our escort waiting. My broodmates and I will bear you to the place of your trial. Make your preparations. So we unlock Sorkai, which is a thing that we will do in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this episode of just I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. In the next episode we're going to go and deal with your elf, Soral. Or Sorkai. Sorry. Why is Soral? Is that it? Whatever. Goodbye.